Hey guys, welcome back. I'm EDC Gunner, and today we're gonna do a review of a Rolex Datejust. Well, not exactly because everybody knows Datejust, but I'm gonna compare the vintage one versus the contemporary one. Well, sort of, because there are even more new Rolexes coming out. And this is a vintage one, 16030. And this one is 16234 with the sapphire crystal and everything else. So stay tuned. I'm EDC Gunner, and today we're gonna talk Datejusts. So here they are, guys, side by side. And if you don't know Datejusts, these are the most classic and for me the best Datejust out there. There are new Datejust modern ones, bigger and beefier and whatnot, and they look nice. I like the white one with the stick dials like this one. However, it does not have the same charm as far as I'm concerned as the 36 Datejust. And that goes with presidents. I think for presidents is the same thing when it comes to me. That's just my personal opinion. I think this works great, and what's better than a Datejust is a date, and in the same proportions. However, this is classic. If you don't know Rolexes, if you're not familiar with Datejusts, this is a Sapphire Crystal 16234, very, very common reference. They made millions of these watches, and they're still making them. And it's very common reference, very popular, and I can tell you, you can see why. It has everything that a watch needs. It has a sapphire crystal, which is very, very cool. It will not get scratched. It's a perfect daily user watch for someone who has just one watch, or for someone who's wear a bit more dressier watches but still wants to have that waterproofness of watch. And this watch is waterproof, 100 meters, has a screw down crown. I can tell you the crown screws down. You set, has a quick set date, and that's pretty much it. Also, you will notice has a white gold bezel, and you can see, I will try to show you how the white gold stands out. And shimmers and shines a bit more. When I saw this, I thought it's just a bit more polished. However, it is not. The white gold has that special hue of color that makes it stands out from the steel. That you can tell it's not a steel, and I think it adds that extra touch and class of dressiness to the watch. The watch is made of stainless steel, of course, but the white gold bezel just makes it pop, and I really love it on this one. That's the one thing I would have on my old engine turn bezel, and most of the Datejusts have a white gold bezel like this one, whether it's fluted bezel or not. I like the fluted bezel, but most of them have. And this vintage Rolex, this is from 1980s, and this one is anywhere. I haven't checked the serial number because this one's not mine, but it can be from 90s, it can be from 2000s. It doesn't really matter. They're classic watches. They never change a lot, and that's what I like about Rolex. They do not change a lot. However, you can see this bezel here on my 16030 is engine turn bezel. That's something what you call engine turn bezel, and it's made of stainless steel and looks different. It's not fluted. This is called engine turn bezel. And of course, the Datejust, mine, this one's from the 80s. It has a different movement inside. This one has 30-35 movement. It also has a quick set date, and this one, the 16234, has a 31-35 movement, also quick set date. And you can tell these are just normal successor to the mine model. This mine is vintage, and The biggest difference is the sapphire crystal and the plastic crystal. The owner of this Datejust with the sapphire crystal prefers mine because of the plastic crystal. It's a bit more rounded and loves it, and I don't know, it has that special charm. Of course, if you are a newbie buyer, novice buyer, the plastic crystals get scratched a lot. When I first got my Datejust, this is my Datejust. Let me just give you more light here. When I first got my Datejust, I wore it everywhere. I wore this thing to the seaside, I wore it to vacation, I wore it to a yard work and whatnot. And one day I had my keys in my pocket and wanted to do some yard work outside. I forgot where I have the keys. I put the watch in my pocket because I want to protect the watch, and I scratched the crystal. I scratched the Cyclops. Luckily, all you need is a little bit of a poly watch, a cloth, and you can easily polish that out. So yeah, it's a bit of a trade-off with the sapphire crystal. Overall, I wanted to make this here a little comparison. Vintage watch. Well, let's call this one a vintage and this one is not, even though this one will become vintage. And no matter which one you choose, you can see this here with the sapphire crystal. The crystal sticks out a little bit here, and that's kind of breaks the beautiful line of the. And I think this is a nice angle. You can see the crystal. It's just flat. It's a flat, nice crystal, and here this one is a nice convex. Of course, it takes a lot more effort and money to produce a curved convex sapphire crystal, and I think Rolex just decided not to do it. They're very conservative like that, and both of these watches are used, well worn. They're still ticking, they're working beautifully, and I believe this one has also white gold indices, not just a white gold bezel, but white gold indices, and it has a stick dial. This is one of the most classic watches out there, and I was contemplating, should I get mine has let me just show you Roman numerals, which I absolutely adore and love, and also has a little bit of a loom that's starting to turn colors. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video because it looks white, but to a naked eye, these loom pips are turning more into a color like this. Not this extreme, but they're getting there. Definitely, and it's just a beautiful thing to observe and behold. And I do love the Roman numerals. I do love the sapphire crystal and the white gold bezel. And I was thinking about trading mine for this one because of the sapphire and white gold bezel, but I decided not to because I love this one much more. It has so much history with me, and I plan to keep it forever if opportunities allow me that. And I've been through much with this watch. I got married with it, and lots of milestones with it I've done. And this one is just a beautiful, gorgeous piece. 16234 from a normal guy perspective. If you're looking to get yourself a first Rolex or first Datejust, I think this is a very solid option that I can definitely recommend. They are easy to service, not just, you don't have to send them to Rolex, any watchmaker can do it, and they're easy to service. They are very modern, has a sapphire crystal, scratch proof, has a nice beautiful white gold bezel, and I think because of this white gold bezel, this one feels a bit heavier, just a little bit heavier. They are not heavy watches. There are some downsides to these watches, and that's to the Datejust. You have this a stretched out bracelet. It's a stretched out Jubilee bracelet with the hollow links, and the case back is just a plain case back. I talked about this one has 30-35 movement. It is a quick set date, and most of the vintage watches have a white gold bezel as well. So don't be, this is a rare thing that this one configuration that has a engine turn bezel. And this bracelet is also very scratched. Same thing, up until last maybe 10 years, Rolex didn't care much about the bracelets, but I can tell you one thing: the watch is very comfortable on the wrist, very wears beautifully, and I love the look of the Jubilee. I just love the look of Jubilee. It looks nice, wears nice, and I absolutely adore it and love it. Let me just put it on the wrist quickly. This bracelet is not sized for my wrist, so I'm gonna do this, but it's just beautiful, and I love my biggest thing I love about this Datejust is the play of light on this white gold bezel. It's just a beautiful piece, and these watches are not as expensive as most of the other sports steel Rolexes, and whether you buy 16234, whether you buy a vintage Datejust with the plastic crystal, whether you buy a newer one, these are just amazing watches. They are icons, piece of history, and one of the nicest watches out there. When you say Rolex, immediately in my head I get a picture of a Submariner or a Datejust, depends on the date. But when you say Rolex, most of the people will imagine this one, and it's absolutely iconic, and you can see why. This beautiful design, this watch is timeless, and I do love the Jubilee bracelet, and though it's not of the highest quality like modern day Rolex bracelets, but I think it just adds to the charm, and it's very comfortable on the wrist wearing it. I know guys who are wearing these Datejusts for 30 years on their wrist. Sometimes they don't even service them, and they wear them for 30 years every day as a daily beaters, and they still work and look good. And I think you cannot go wrong when you buy a Rolex Datejust. It doesn't matter if you get a vintage one, or this one is a modern one, or even newer one with the 40 mils, or is it 41 Datejust. I think I did a video with a bull Datejust I showed you, but if you're interested, I can show you the brand new modern one. It's bigger, it has a better bracelet, and that's it. But I think when it comes to Datejusts, 36 is where it's at, and that also one of my grail watches is the day date, just like this one, white gold day date, 36 mils. So hopefully one day I will get it. But me, DC Gunner, thank you for watching, thank you for tuning in, and it's been an absolutely pleasure playing and holding these two watches in my hand and wearing them on my wrist. So that's it, guys. Thank you for watching. See ya on the next one, and don't forget to give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and all that good YouTube stuff, and cheers.